Hi, welcome to a brand new video of the Target Individual Experience, the Target Individual Program. Yesterday, I did a compilation of videos for over the past couple of days that I was being targeted. And in the video, I tried to show being targeted by the police, the use of ambulances, fire trucks, civilian perps, the use of the number 32 consistently showing up wherever I go, on license plates, on vehicle numbers such as school buses, what have you. And this morning, Tuesday, February 6th, they continue with the targeting. And so instead of waiting a couple of days and doing the video, this is a pretty lengthy video, and again, I try to show how I'm being targeted. Okay, you again with the police, participating, but doing it in such a way that they're not directly targeting me or sending me subliminal message, but by their presence and the use of civilian perpetrators to send subliminal messages that I've been conditioned to. Okay, if it was brainwashed, it was put into my subconscious by a psychological process called neurolinguistic programming, right? And in my case, case of many TIs, dark NLP, to create phobia, fears, to make you paranoid, and stuff like that, right? So neurolinguistic program, and again, this is all incorporated within the psychological program called a coercive persuasion program. So this morning, I just pull out of the parking space, and I'm taking the kids to school. Okay, I have to load on the volume of the video because the radio is playing and I don't have any license of the songs that are being played on the radio, as well as the morning radio show. So you have to excuse that this video is not going to have any other sound except for what I am explaining. I'm gonna skip some of this and get to the relevant part. So I normally drop my son off to school first. And the way how they target me and other TIs, it's coordinated, it's precise timing is involved. The movement is very precise and very concentrated, geared to harassing, using silent subliminal messaging to convey a theme or a message to the target. There goes the honks again. Like I said, it's just like honk. It isn't like they're trying to pass anybody or somebody's blocking them, that they're constantly honking. It's not that. This is what I go through during the day. Normally, because of the remote neural monitoring, there you go. Say new remote neural monitoring. Now, the police car, drove by, of Of course, I pull out. Like I said, it's precise timing. There goes the lady in red. And she did something with her hand. I didn't quite catch it, but again, it left to send hand signals. So let me pause it as soon as I see her. Oh, she had a phone in her hand, and she looked at it as I was approaching and put it back in her pocket. That's what it was. And of course, she's wearing a red sweater. Remember the theme, red, right? So I guess the past couple of days I'll be seeing that theme a lot. And again, with the police, with the civilian perp, in conjunction with one another, this is how they try to convey, the subliminal message. So the police will get away with, any type of harassment of an individual, of a TI. Because they can say, well, I'm not doing nothing, I'm just driving by. Yeah, you're driving by, but then you have your perps on the sidewalk, and when you drive by, they take their phone out, look at it, look at the TI, put it back in their pocket. Listen, I'm going to expose all your tactics, okay? Y'all are not that slick. You may have gotten away with it in the past because people didn't know. But I'm thankful for the TIs before me who put the information out there, who I've learned from. And I'm putting the information out there so the new TIs, the people who you decided you're going to do this to, they're going to know exactly what you're doing. Okay, I can fast forward. Let me skip past some of these. Okay, now again, the use of the number 32. You're going to see the vehicle as I turn into the school parking lot strategically placed right there so that I would see it. Okay, and I turn slowly because I want the camera to pick it up so I don't miss it, so you don't miss it. So number 3267 on that license plate. I'm sorry, 3260. Okay, HDW 3260. Now, I turn in. See this vehicle right here? The door is open, right? So this individual, and we've seen this vehicle before because I've done a video on it before. This individual here who owns this vehicle, who operates this vehicle, they're part of my targeting. They use this person to target me using their vehicle because the vehicle has a number 32 in it, which is the number that they use to convey some sort of message, thought, emotion. Again, it's neurolinguistic programming. This number is a trigger. Okay, now the person left the door open, okay, to take their kids into the school. Just left the door open. There's nobody in that vehicle. And you're going to see the person who's driving that vehicle. See the lights as I approach. The light comes on. The brake light comes on. Now watch. Okay, this is the person with this vehicle. And what she does, bend down to look at the tire. Remember the previous video that I did yesterday with the gentleman who came out of the gray Ford? Okay, and just to refresh your memory, let me see if I can go back to that video so I can show you. Here it is. Okay, so there you go. As he comes out, he's gonna go bend down, look at the tire, All right, now that's a theme. Now you'll see it happen in this video again. All right. Okay, let me just pause that. Let's get back to the other videos now. Okay, let's make sure I have the right video playing. Okay, all right, let's go back. All right, here we go. So now I'm leaving the school. Got to drop my daughter off. Okay, now this is what they do, right? So normally when I drop off my daughter, you know, I usually, even though this is a one-way, see this street right here? I usually make a quick right turn and then I made a left onto the street, right? Because it's a very, where the entrance to the school is to where that street is, it's a very short distance, right? So I usually do that. But this morning, because they had other plans, they're gonna prevent me from going that way because they want me to go the opposite direction because they have, you know, the street there to set up. And you'll see. Remember, everything happened with precision. Everything is planned out. Okay? It's premeditated. So I was about to turn. Obviously, I couldn't because the car right there. So now I was like, okay, well, you know what? I got to go this way. Okay. Okay. Now, here I am approaching. And you see the police car right there? Look where it stops. It stops and it stays there, right? It stays there as I'm turning, okay? Again, you know, I guess they probably figured the camera wouldn't pick it up, you know, but it's a 1080p video, so you know, it pick up quite a distance. So if the police car turning, it's gonna stop right there so that I can see, right? As I made the turn, see this guy right here? Now he's just standing there because he knows I'm approaching. Remember, everything is already set up. So I couldn't go the other way because they prevented me from going that way. So I had to go the direction of traffic, turn down, make the right, okay, came to the stop sign, the police car going to turn, the police car stops right there so I can see it, okay? And now the theme that they're going to use, or the color theme they're going to use, is black. Right? Because this guy, he's wearing black. He's just standing there now. Now watch when I approach. Now he leaves. Now he leaves. Okay? And, you know, it's obvious. Okay? Because he's standing there, and as I approach, now he walks off. Okay? Now, the red theme is used. Okay? And what he's doing, he's going to be looking at the car window. Okay? So he's going to be looking at the car window. It was one of these vehicles, either the white van or this car. Again, had the number 32 in the license plate. So the video might not have picked it up. You might have to view this full screen in order to see it. And you may not even see it, but it's there. All right. So now, this is where I wait for the kid's mom so I can drop her to work. Now, the video I did yesterday, you saw with the police car and the guy walking down. Let me go back. Okay, so this woman here. Okay, this is a perp. Again, this is how they convey a message, and I'm gonna show you. So look at her hands, right? Look at her hands. As she gets closer, and this is something that they do, as they get closer, it's like they have to touch their clothing. They have to, because it's all hand signals, trying to send you a subliminal message, because you've been conditioned, you've been programmed, brainwashed. She's walking. As she approached closer, now she starts touching her thing. She actually gave me the middle finger, but she tried to be slick about it. Okay, now watch. As she gets close, I want you to see. She's gonna look at her bag that she's carrying, her suitcase, like a very small suitcase. So she's gonna glimpse at it. There you go. See her glimpse down at it? Glimpse at it real quick. Okay. Again, they do stuff like that because they want me to move. As TIs, they want to chase you out of your neighborhood, chase you out of the environment that you live in, because they have spread so many rumors about you, and some people are participating, some people are not, and the best thing for them to do is to get rid of you. Okay, so you'll see people with suitcases, and every time they see you, they'll look at their suitcase and they'll look at you, just as how they'll, as they walk by, they'll look at you and look at the window or the store window, that sort of thing. Let's get to the next video. Still waiting. Now, this lady walking here, she's carrying a purple bag. She was very suspicious because she stopped where the camera couldn't see her, and she was there for about a good 2 or 3 minutes. Then she walked up, and then she stopped there, and then she'll hang around here. See, this is classic perp behavior. Okay, so you see her, she's standing up there, and she's looking at the window, and I zoom in. I zoomed in. Okay, so I zoomed in to get her, and she's standing there. Let's see her. Remember, she was walking in the opposite direction, but she turned around. Okay, now she turns to the side. Now, let me go back because I just noticed something, right? Let's go back. Okay. So, see this Chevy Lumina here? The minute she turns to show me her bag, it's going to pull off, right? Now, in New York City, we all know the police uses these Chevy Lumina as vehicles, plainclothes police officers. This is, the only car that they drive, these Chevy Luminas. So as soon as she turns, and again, another theme about the bag, and you'll see by the end of this video exactly what I'm talking about. So as she turns, show me her bag, he pulls out. Then, you'll see her walk back towards me. Okay, No, at this point, she was out of sight because I had zoomed in and I didn't realize that I wasn't picking her up. I didn't realize that I had zoomed in that much that I wasn't picking her up. So when I realized that I wasn't picking her up, she stopped, walked back and stopped right here. Now, what the camera didn't pick up, but I saw, is that she kept looking at this green, what do you call it? Can't think of the word for it right now. But this green, what is it, ornate, or what have you? I'm not quite sure. But she kept staring at it, and I'm like, why is she staring at it? And then when I zoom back out so I can get her in the frame, she turns around. Again, classic perp behavior. And this guy comes in. Watch, he sticks at his tongue. Let's do that again. Wearing black again. Stick out his tongue. Let me show you. It's very quick. I want to get to the part where he sticks his tongue out. There you go. See that? There you go. Sticks his tongue out at me. That's what he does. That's what they do. Basically, what they're saying to me is, because I keep talking about what's being done, I'm continuing to be harassed in the manner that I'm being harassed. I'm continuing to be psychologically manipulated, psychologically tortured. Like last night, I was sleeping, and around 2:30 at night, fire trucks, with the noise campaign, woke me up. This is, again, this is what they do in the coercive persuasion program. They'll do their darndest to try to silence the victim of this criminal program. And that's exactly what it is. Again, she's still standing there. And this is this is an Asian woman. And again, you'll see later on in another video how it ties in. Okay, you'll see. Okay, there you go. Constantly showing me that bag. Okay, let's skip part. Okay, you see what just happened there? Guy shows up in a red jacket, starts running. Okay. He's gonna look at her. He's gonna look at me, and he's gonna look up at the window over here, the building windows. The guy shows up in red. Now the car makes it. I mean, in black. The guy comes back. The white car makes the U-turn. Now let's see. And look, she's still standing there. She is still standing there. All right, so I picked up the kid's mom, and I'm on my way to take her to work. And I'm just gonna scroll through this video until I get to the relevant part. Okay, so let's do this. When I talk about how everything is pre-planned, it's premeditated, and the movement is precise, these are all part of, from what I've read about the MK Ultra program. Some of the things, because some of our targeting, this psychological program, have aspect of MK Ultra, the stuff that they were trying to do. Okay. So this vehicle, this white vehicle, moved out of the way. Again. So now I am driving behind this Nissan Altima. Okay. And I couldn't go in front of it because, it was pretty close to the bus. Okay. So now it's going to stay within the distance of the bus. Now see the vehicle that was behind this Altima went back into the other lane, right, which it was in. Okay. And that was to prevent me from going in front of the bus, because they need me to stay in this lane. So now this lane over here to the right is going to be very tight. So there's no way I can merge over into this lane. And I normally don't do that anyway, but this is what they're going to do. Okay, let me fast forward it. Okay, that's okay. Okay. Now I want you to look at the bus mirror. Look at the reflection. Right? You see the bus driver opens up a newspaper. Let's do this again. There we go. And I think I was explaining to the kid's mother. Okay, now that's because they want to show me that. That's what they want to show me. Okay, now look at this vehicle. Right, the person that is operating this vehicle, and you can view this full screen. This grid is going to be 1080p because I upgraded, because I needed to do that to show this in in full resolution. Now after the bus driver takes out the newspaper, just so I can see. There was a reason why, I was put behind this vehicle. Even though I'm driving behind, but there's a reason why that car that was behind that video went into the other lane, so I can pull up behind this vehicle. Now, see, the person took their phone, waved it, so I can see. See that? Let's go back. Person took their phone, went like this, so I can see. Okay. Okay. So, drop the kid's mom off of her job. Okay. So, earlier on in the video, I showed you when I had dropped my daughter off at her school. There was the SUV with the number 32 and the license plate with the door wide open, right? There was nobody in there. You're going to see the exact same thing repeated here. So as I approach behind this muscle milk, there you go. SUV, door open, no one inside of it. Okay? Again, learning how to recognize repeated patterns. That is meant for psychological conditioning. Okay? So when you see things repeated in a certain fashion, that's kind of odd and out of the way. Okay? It's being done because, to get your attention. This is how neurolinguistic programming works. This is how they condition you. Okay? Again, the number 32 is repeated here. Did I pass it? Okay. All right, there we go. Now, remember the beginning of the video? Well, not the beginning, with the Asian lady who had the purple bag. Again, she was a perp. Now, here's the pattern using another Asian lady repeated here. Now look what she does. The light turn green so I can go, and the walk, this street, okay, watch what she's gonna do. Now, obviously, it's her turn. She can walk, right? But she looks up at the walk sign. Again, it's to get your attention and to recognize the pattern. Another Asian lady. Let me go back if you guys are not too clear. Okay. Obviously, there's another signal. It's right here. So there is no need for her to look back at this walk sign. There's one facing right ahead of her. So why does she do that? Again, when I said things that are being done, in an odd fashion, and it's obvious what they're doing. Okay, now I want you to keep an eye on this vehicle right here. Okay, let's go to the next video. Now, as I approach this video, and let me go back. Remember, I talk about precision timing. This is an example of what I'm talking about. Precision timing. So, as I'm getting ready to go into this lane, because this lane here is totally backed up. See this ambulance coming? Watch. And he's speeding now, Can I put the volume up? Let me see. There you go. I just did that because I wanted to show. I'll let you hear. Okay. Now, guess what? See where he's positioned himself? See that number in the license plate? Okay. And you're going to see that vehicle again. Here it is. Let's go. Let's change. Now, check this out. So, now this vehicle could have went in front of this car because he had the blinkers on. There wasn't another car in front of this vehicle. The other car was at a great distance, so he could have went. But again, we talk about timing. We talk about premeditated, pre-planned actions, okay, and being done. Subliminal messages being sent to TIs, silent subliminal message. I'm a target individual, and this is what they're doing to me. Look at this gentleman right here, okay, and this is going to be very quick, because the way he positions himself, and they're smart, okay, because they position themselves to where they think the camera wouldn't pick up what it is that they're doing. Sometimes it works, but sometimes I get very lucky, okay. It might just be a split second of it, but I usually get it, right? Watch. Remember this vehicle? The number 32 in license plate? Now he stops, right? He stops. He could have just went. Because this guy obviously wasn't trying to cross the street as yet. He is walking further up. Okay, now, Let me do this very slowly because I want to get this right. You're gonna see he gives me the thumbs up. It's very quick. You can see his thumb comes down. See that? Let's go back. That's too far. I wanna. Okay. Let's go back slightly. You have to excuse me. I'm trying to use this mouse here. Okay, that's too. Shoot. I wish there was an easy way of scrolling through this. Okay, that's too far. That's too far. All right. Let's see if I can pause it at that moment. Of course, you hear the sirens aside because they know I'm explaining this, so they know they're getting exposed. I'm trying to get it at that split second. There you go. Okay, now once the thumb comes down. All right, give me the thumbs up. This is something, and again, using neurolinguistic, right? Trigger and anchor. So that vehicle with that number 32 represents something. Okay, him giving me the thumbs up. Okay, it's supposed to trigger something, right? So let's continue. And I was talking to another TI last night, and I was telling her when early on in my targeting how they used to condition me while I was sleeping, and I couldn't understand what was happening. So on the weekends, I would get up, get dressed, head into the city, and I would go to Barnes and Nobles. Now there was a Barnes and Nobles, a big one in Union Square. So when I approached the Barnes and Nobles, there would be a perpetrator, all right, one, sometimes two, and as I approached to enter into the Barnes and Nobles, they would give me the thumbs up and then walk off, okay? And after this had been happening for a couple months, I realized what was happening, that I was being programmed and conditioned as I was sleeping. And when I did research into silent sound spread spectrum, okay, I knew that that was the technology that they were programming me with, conditioning me with, right? And so whenever I had the urge to go somewhere when I really didn't need to go, I would stop. Hear the sirens again. I would stop myself from going to where my mind was telling me to go, And at that point, I was second guessing myself all the time. Okay? Okay. So, got back on the block, the kid's mother's block, and you see this vehicle here. As I was driving up, there were people who were, I guess they were moving, and again, that moving theme. Remember the woman with the small suitcase? She approached me, walking towards my direction. She looked at her suitcase, again, conveying some sort of, you better move, I'm like, whatever, I'm staying right here. I ain't going nowhere. Okay, there's no reason for me to go anywhere. I'm not running from anything. I'm not running from anybody. So you'll see my face every single day. Now, the people were loading their luggage into the SUV on the side there. Now as she's approaching, she kept looking at across the street at the people that were moving. She kept looking. And as she got closer, she's going to do this. Right here. Okay? She does it. Okay. Now, that's going to be repeated. Okay. This guy, he's a perp. Now, gets out of his car, walks away. Okay. Now he takes his phone out. He looks back at me. He takes his phone out of his pocket, looks at it, he's gonna put it back in his pocket. You see all that he's doing? Unnecessary stuff. See, that's the odd stuff. That's how they get your attention. Comes back to his vehicle. Now, while this is going on, I am being remote neural monitored. Okay? Yeah, he's looking at me. Walks across the street. Another perp comes out. He's looking across the street at the people moving. As he gets closer, he's going to do this. Then he looks at his tablet. Okay? So you look at the people who are moving. As you walk towards me, he does this. Then he has his tablet in his hand. He looks at it and looks across the street. Mention the word tablet. You hear the police sirens. And at this point, I turn to show that these people are moving. Okay. Now, I could have turned the camera to show at any time, but at that particular moment, so she has an orange bag that she has on. He's carrying a blue bag. Now the perp comes back. Now he comes back. Okay. What does he do? Bend down, check his tire. Okay. Now, remember the previous video? In this video that I showed of when I pull into my daughter's school with the SUV, number 32 license plate, the door was open, nobody was in the car. Then the driver of the car came towards the car, bent down, looked at her tire. Okay? And then I put that clip in from yesterday of the dude in the gray Ford getting out of the car, looking at his tire. So things are repeated here. You know, it's the pattern. Now, the white car shows up. Okay. Now you would think he's going to park in a parking space. Nope. The white car shows up for a reason. Again, trying to convey some sort of message. See? You wait till they get towards the tree. Now he's looking at the people moving, ties his pants. Okay? Now, he's been walking up, he could have tied his pants at any time. But no. Again, trying to convey some sort of subliminal message. Okay? Now, a red car passed by. Okay. Guy comes back with the red hat. He gets out of the car. And he looks up at the window. Okay. Now, he left his vehicle unattended. Okay, he's gonna come back. He walks back over. And the two vehicles in front of him are all unattended. I had passed 3 vehicles coming when I got this parking space. There were nobody in the car. Normally, the ticket agents, they walk by. Okay? And this is around 9:30. Okay? So you're supposed to stay in your vehicle until 10 o'clock. So he exited out of his video around 9:30. So there's still a half an hour left. go. Let's go back. Let's go back. Okay. Here's the ticket agent. He's right here. Okay? He's right here. Why is he walking on this side of the street, the sidewalk, when this is the side that they usually walk on, to check the cars, to make sure that there are people sitting in their car and the cars are not left unattended. So, do you know how many tickets that he didn't write? Okay? Do you know how many tickets that he didn't write? You gotta think about that. Okay? Now, these ticket agents, they're not gonna pass up not writing anybody a ticket. Okay? And like I said, there must have been 5 or 6 cars that are left unattended, no one in there, with still plenty of time left before, you can say, okay, you know what? Let me exit out because it's 10 o'clock and therefore I won't get a ticket. Okay? Because there's no parking on this side on Tuesday from 8:30 to 10 o'clock. And like I said, that perp, he left his vehicle unattended half an hour before 10. Okay? Okay, now, again, you want to see the repeated pattern? As he approach, he's going to do this. See it? Same thing here. But he has his hood on, so you might not be able to see it. But he approaches. That's what he does. Repeated pattern. Trying to silence, send a subliminal message, trying to silence me. Now, let's move on. So, this black Nissan Pathfinder pull into the parking space. Look at the lady and her child. She walks by. She's gonna look, stare at the car. She looks at me. Just gonna skip forward. Okay. So, he gets out of his car. Again, another perp. Closes the car door. There you go with the bag, switch from one shoulder to the next. Again, the repeated pattern to get my attention. You just hear the sirens and you hear a car honk. Okay, what is he doing? Remember I tell you, a repeated pattern, right? Now, why is the reason that he went around behind his vehicle to look in the direction of traffic? Okay, if traffic is going this way, why is he looking this way? Shouldn't he be looking the other way? Okay, and watch. Opens his car door, closes his car door again. Let me show that. Let's, I guess you can go scroll back at the video yourself to see. Okay, of course, you want to show me the bag. That's what it is. Opens the car door, closes the car door. And he's not finished yet. Wait. See the person in the red jacket? Now watch the reflection on his vehicle. Comes back. See what just happened there? Quick. Got the red jacket. He's gonna walk back so I can see his bag. He turns around. Okay. Let's go forward. Okay. So now I exit out of the car and went upstairs, went into the apartment, and I went to use the bathroom. Okay, something was just pulling me to go use the bathroom. So just got back upstairs from parking the car. And there's a red brush on the bathroom sink. Surprise. Remember in my previous video I talked about the color feed that they use. The video showed you how they use color red every time. Like a 32 here, something like the sidewalk. Okay, right? So color red. It's a theme, and they're using her or she. Like this is the thing that I wrestle with on a daily basis. Is trying to decide if she's knowingly participating in this, or she's being manipulated. Now, the possibility of both, I would say, is 50-50. The way I see it, simply because I have never seen this brush before. Okay. I have never seen this brush before. All of a sudden, today, she decided that, okay, you know what? I'm going to use this brush now. Okay? And left it on the bathroom sink. No one, when I come back in the house, sometime I got to use the bathroom. Right? And so, this is what I wrestle with, Listen, I know with the microwave technology, the spread spectrum technology, they can condition you, brainwash you, manipulate you without you even knowing it, and you're going by what your own thoughts is telling you to do. Okay, not knowing that with the silent sound spread spectrum, that even though it's your own thought, you're hearing your own inner voice. Okay, the instructions that your mind is telling you to do, it's already what's the word there? Preconditioned into your psyche, into your subconscious. Okay? So, again, this is, classic example, as with yesterday when I was looking for park, and the neighbor across the street came out of his apartment building wearing a red sweater. Here we go. Now, see, he's standing there, right? So you saw him standing there. And the reason why he's standing there, because I wasn't looking in his direction. I could see him in my peripheral vision, but because my head wasn't turned towards him, he stood there until I turned towards him. Then he moves. Okay, so look, initially, stand there, my head turned towards him, then he moves. Okay, so again, the repeated pattern. Okay, the repeated pattern, the color theme. Okay, so I just wanted to show this because to me it makes, you know, it kind of, for me, it validates what I've been saying. You know, when you talk about you know, the use of color, they use it in a way that is negative against target individuals. Okay, they use it in a way to convey subliminal message with the use of neurolinguistic programming, you know, brainwashing you, placing certain things into your subconscious, and then use triggers to activate those subconscious thoughts to bring them to the surface, to bring them back into your consciousness or your conscious mind. Okay? And so here is an article on psychologicalharassment.com that talks about positivity and how the use of color can convey positivity. Now, in dark NLP, the use of color is used to convey negativity. Okay? The use of color in dark NLP is used to self-sabotage the targeted individual. Okay? So we have to condition our mind to think of those colors in a positive way. And that's how I can continue to do what I do, you know, go outside, you know, still take my kids out, still do certain things, because even though I'm bombarded with all these negative subliminal messages, okay, I also know the positivity of those colors. And so I use that. So whenever time I start to think negative, I consciously bring up the positive messages of that particular color. Okay? And that's how I'm able to get through my day. All right? You gotta remember that. Okay, well, you know, that's the end of the video. I certainly hope that you guys understand and I hope explain my targeting in a way in which makes it believable, you know, credible in what it is that is happening to me and to a lot of people, a lot of targeted individuals in America and just and around the world, not just in America, that have this sort of program. Okay, and so I hope that TIs can look at my video, learn from it, and you know, fight these people, you know, and fight them in a positive way, in a good way, you know, and not through violence, not through physical, you know, attacks and stuff like that, and don't be verbally loud, you know, when confronting these people, because, you know, obviously they have conditioned you to and affect your emotion to where you have an outburst to try, you know, basically to validate what they're saying, that you're crazy or what have you. So you got to look out for that stuff. You know, that's how they get you. Okay.